Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Tuesday. It's May the 29th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and this is Monday on Tuesday today due to the long holiday. And you can see that this was the price action from here to here that we had yesterday, or yeah, yesterday. So that's not worth hanging around for. Generally, you want to take those days off, and if you want some practice, sometimes you'll get a little more movement than that right there. And so I guess you could sim trade on it, but I wouldn't risk trading live on a day like that because you'll get in a trade and then the next thing you know you're stuck in it and then the market closes and you got to exit, so you have to take a you got to take a loss or whatever. So but anyway, had a nice day today. It started out really slow because we were just almost flat right here, and then we started down and it was all downhill. Turns out there's a large two-tiered channel here, and so there were quite a few trades from that point forward. But early on, you just had to kind of be patient. I marked a few trades in there, but you really had to be patient. So before we get into the trades, let me back out a little more. Oh, let me show you before we back out. Once we started lower here, I'd measure this first leg. You can see that first leg, and then you come over here and you look for a measured leg, and it looks like we got it to the tick. We actually continued to move a little lower there, but we didn't go much. But that would have been a perfect target. I mean, that's perfect measured move to the exact tick from tick to tick. So it doesn't get any better than that. But also, before we get into the lesson, just a reminder that this is going to be a short week for me and that I'll be leaving for vacation. I'm going to probably only today and tomorrow we'll do a chart lesson. I'm leaving on Friday, early Friday morning, so I'm probably going to take off Thursday. I've got too much to do to come in and try to trade, and so I'll probably just take that day off. So there won't be any midday chart on the website. There won't be any uh, chart lesson on Thursday afternoon either. And I won't be back until in the office until June the 10th, which is actually I won't be back in the office. I get back June the 10th, but I won't be back in the office till the following day. And that's assuming that all my flights are good coming back and that we don't get delayed or anything. We have had some years where I get delayed and maybe it's Tuesday before I get back in the office. So, but I should be, if I get back on Sunday, I will be in here on Monday and we'll start a fresh week, a normal week on Monday, June 11th. So just be aware of that. When I'm gone, I don't have access to my email very often. Sometimes it's spotty internet down there, but I do take my laptop, and if I can, I check my emails usually at least once a day, if not once at the most once every other day. But I usually try to check them once a day. But I won't answer anything but emergencies. Please don't send any questions about trades or setups or things like that. Please save that till I get back, just so I won't have a million emails to go through when I get back. And plus, by the time I get back, you might have figured it out or moved on to something else and forgotten about it anyway. So if you would, only send me emergency things, emails, and just hold all your emails till I get back. I would greatly appreciate that. But let's talk about the trades and we'll wrap today up. And like I said, tomorrow will probably be the last chart lesson. When I came in, we'd been trending down really strongly, but we'd started up, and we were really kind of going up and down here. Notice we were above the EMA, back below it, then we were back above it. By the time we hit 7 o'clock, we were right in here somewhere, and I didn't see anything I liked. There's a possible, I can't remember if it was 7 o'clock there. I was here, but on that entry right there, yeah, that was 7:20 something. That would have been a possible entry, but it's right into all those highs right there. You see that. So I'm not, and there is a little pullback there, and then you're into a 3-bar matching high there. And so I didn't like that one. But notice the little short-term trend line. There's actually been one leg up, then there's a big correct. This is a two-legged correction, and then there's a measured leg up. So you've had two measured legs up, and then you get this little bitty bar. And notice we had a break here, move up, move up. And if you measure these, it's basically two measured legs up. You can see that. It's almost to the tick as well. So, um, and this is basically a double bottom, so that could be a first, second, or first entry, and then there's a second entry right there. But I was still a little leery of that one. That's a fairly bearish bar. So if you went short there, you would have got stopped out only to see it go exactly where you went. But you'll see that a lot of times. You'll get one more little push up, and then it'll try to go up. And but that was a fairly, there's only like 2 or 3 ticks in that bar there, and it opened on its high, closed on its low. So I liked that one. You're getting pretty good ways away from the EMA there too. And so basically what happened here is you got faked out on that little second entry short, and it runs up and runs your stop and then goes down. Um, but still, you got to be a little careful there. I only marked that one green, but I like that one. But I like that one too, and you would have got stopped out on that one. So that's why I don't. It's never a good idea to pick tops, because this is what happens to you. If you only had your stop one tick above that signal bar, you got stopped out only to watch it go down just like you thought it was going to go. Your timing was off. So you're better off to wait on that lower high, and you get one here, but now you're right back into now you got a 3-bar matching low. You're right back into the EMA. We actually went higher and turned, and if it went out the other side, I might have marked that one green, but that's just 2 legs down, and then we're back to going sideways again. And notice how we're below the EMA, above, below, above, below, above, below. That's sideways. You can see how flat the EMA is getting. Yes, you could find a channel working higher here, but you didn't really get many trades off of it till we got over here, and by that time this was just too flat. And so I was leery of taking anything off this trend line. Actually, this looks like a spike in channel with a break and a new high, and so you couldn't rule out that we weren't going to trade lower from there. So I was really leery of anything. I like the shorts if you could get in them, but you couldn't find a short that you could get in without getting right into support. And you finally got a little failed break lower here that I would have liked to go long on, but that signal bar is not very good. And even if you use that for a signal bar, it gapped right over and kept going. You couldn't have got in it. So the first trade you really got a good opportunity to go short off this range is right here. And that's a nice bearish bar right off those highs. I like that one. And that's a quick, easy move. But notice how you made a little higher low there. It didn't get back down to the trend line, and then you made another higher low. That one is real tempting. But you're just going sideways there, and that's basically a doji, and that's almost a doji. So you don't want to enter there because it's congestion. It might just break a tick higher and move down here and run down here and try to test this low, or it could just keep going lower. But it runs up, and it just is going sideways across this resistance here. It breaks out. I don't see anything I like there. You could look at that as a new low. It is it's a double bottom, but it's just a first entry, so there's no real failed second entry short, and you don't really want to go long right into that resistance. So it's a nice move, but you just have to miss it. And then we run up, and you're just going sideways again here. This one is tempting. You get that little failed break higher and a big bearish bar, and you're a little ways away from the EMA. But again, you really need to wait on a lower high because this thing is still trending higher. I would draw my trend line off those just in case. And we run down, we run back up, and you get that big bearish bar. It's a lower high. It doesn't quite get back up there, the previous resistance. And it actually went higher and turns and goes out the other side. I like going short right there. It went higher again and gives you another bar, but now you're right into, you're right into those lows right there. And so I don't like that one really either, even though it would have worked. That one was real tempting, and I went back and forth about it. Personally, I didn't like it and just watched it. So it did turn out to work out, and I know what happens. You go back and you say, yeah, I knew I should have taken that trade, but don't do that to yourself because next time it won't work, and it'll work just enough to keep you trying to trade it, but you'll always lose money. That's pretty much what will happen to you right there. So stay away from those trades. We come down here and you actually get a reversal here, but I don't like that either because it's right back into this trend line, which gets confirmed here. Really, you get a little congestion and another little breakout, and this, you could treat this like a failed second entry long, but look at that strong bearish bar right off what looks like a trend line. I like going short there. It does run back up and makes a lower high and gives you another bearish bar. So if you didn't get in there, you could at least get in here, or you could add on there if you wanted to. And now it finally takes off, rockets down. And of course, when it gets down here to where this previous support was, it bounces again, and we're just kind of going sideways. There's no way to enter in there really safely until you get a failed breakout, and it turns down. Notice how it closed right inside that key entry point, and it actually went higher again and turns down. So I like going short there. You got enough room. It ends up just taking on off. And now that you know you're headed lower, I'd be looking for that measured move. So we run down, make a new low, and then we come back and you start going sideways again, but you make another little double top. You close outside, move to a new high, and then you try again and make that lower high. And so I like going short right there. It is a 3-bar matching high, but with a double top on a little double breakout when this little trend's played out too, I like that one. Plus, you've got your measured move down here. And if you're just going to the other side at that point, it looks like maybe this is the other side. There's most likely it could be two-tiered, but in the end, maybe it's not a two-tiered. Maybe this is just one tier. So I like entering right there, and then notice that's a double top. So first entry, and then a second entry, and then it double test right there. And so I like going short right there on that one, just looking for it to run down to here or maybe this measured move. I went back and forth with this one. I wanted to make it green, but it's a little breakout pullback short. You do have to go short at the low of the day. But this has been a really strong downtrend, and by that time you got to be thinking measured moves. So I went ahead and made it green, but it's real close to being, or I'm sorry, I went ahead and made it red, but it's real close to being green. But it's basically just a double test of this level right here. You can see that. I made that high. We came back and tested it once. We came back and tested it a second time. And it's really just a little congestion area too. You can see there's the lows, but it's a little breakout pullback, and then you get a chance to ride it on down. So I made it red, but it's real close. And then now you got a perfect measured move, 2 legs down. And that would have been just to back up here a minute, just to kind of explain to you what I would have been, if we started lower again here this morning, that's exactly what I'd look for, a measured move, similar to this over here. Here's where the day started, so a measured move like that one. But on the daily chart, there was probably a gap here and it didn't get filled. We got back to here, but on the daily chart, there's going to be a gap. And so a lot of times we'll fill that gap on the first day. So you had to wonder if that's where we weren't headed on the way up. But it was so weak going up, you can see how it's mostly just sideways. So once we headed down, I'd be looking for that measured move. So, and once we got a perfect measured move, especially coming off this low end here, which may be a midline, or that could be the lower side of the channel really, I would be looking for a bounce back to the other side. Without a really strong reversal, I wouldn't probably take this. We only have a first entry here, but that's so strong and goes right through the EMA, and that's the first time the market could correct, and it bounces right off the EMA. So I'm going to treat that like a reversal. Let me back out a little more here. You can see there's a little correction there, and then we move up. So there's like 2 legs up, and then so if you went to a little smaller chart, you'd probably see a failed second entry short there. So that looks close enough. It's a pretty strong move. It's a nice setup, so I liked it. Your true reversal failed second entry came here, but you're away from the EMA, away from the trend line. You're just kind of into a 2-bar matching high. That really looks like a pullback just to test this breakout from here. But we keep on running higher. And you get a break and you move up. But after that one up here that I showed you earlier where it failed a couple of times, I'd be very leery. Just like here, that looks like a really good entry right off a key entry point. But it's just a first entry short. Notice that new low, that's lower than that swing. And this is really just kind of like congestion. So if you take that one, it bounces and goes up and goes one tick and stops you out. But then you get a second entry short here on a low. This bar's high is lower than that one. It's still kind of hard to see this. Let me back out a little more. So you might take that one, but I'd just wait on the lower high or a better setup. You get a lower high here, but it's not very bearish. But then it pushes down, pulls. It actually went lower here, comes back, and then closes. So when it broke lower right here, I like that for a short. And that's a fairly nice move. And then it bounces, it comes back, and it really makes a double top up here and gives you another key entry point right there. And that's a second entry short, so I like that one. And off it goes. We come back again, and you get a second entry here, but it's not a very good signal bar. You get a lower high here. Once again, it's not a great signal bar. It closes too much neutral. It closes too close to being neutral there. But then you get a failed second entry long there after two legs down. So I like going short there. And that gives you another quick scalp before it bounces. And that was the first break of that channel. And notice too that we made a new low right there. And then it reversed. And this is all after 2 o'clock, so I didn't mark anything. There is a nice reversal right here. Notice that you made a new low. First entry, pushed through the EMA, second entry. That would have been a great reversal, and look at it go. But it's after 2 o'clock, so I didn't mark it. But once the day kind of got going and it was clear that we were headed lower again, there were quite a few trades in here. And there's probably a few more you could argue for to be green. But, you know, with all these decent trades here, I wouldn't risk anything that was questionable. I wouldn't try to pick too many tops, really. I would just be looking for good, clear signals that are with the trend, and also when I'm pretty sure that the correction had ended or whatever. So here, you know, it's hard to know for sure if the correction's ended. It was like that somewhere else. Oh, right here it was the same way. So that's why they're green. Once you know the correction's ended, we're making lower highs and lower lows again, then you're a lot better off. So, but anyway, that's what I saw today, and this was a fairly long chart lesson because there's a lot of trades here. So I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna wrap it up. But just remember, one leg down, correction, and notice it's about a 50% correction. 50 to 70% correction is usually where you'll get that second leg start down, and then we started down. I'd look for a measured leg as I showed you, and we got a perfect measured leg. Although you had to be concerned about this trend line. By this time it's obvious it's in play, and we finally get a little close outside. We get a move to a new low to the tick, and then we reversed. Took a little bit of work to reverse it, but once everybody figured out it was going the other way, it took off pretty quickly. So, but anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow, and that'll wrap up our week since I'm leaving for vacation. But I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.